Now, as far as the light skin, dark skin thing in the black community, one of my MySpace partners, he pointed out that a lot of brothers say that light-skinned black women are cooler than dark-skinned black women. A lot of brothers say that light-skinned women are easier to get along with. A lot of brothers say that light-skinned women look better. Now, some of that stuff I agree with, some of that stuff I do not agree with. Now, as far as females dating light-skinned or dark guys, like back in the 70s and 80s, you know, light-skinned dudes were the in thing. Especially like in the music business, they would give every light-skinned nigga a record deal. You light-skinned, you got your record deal. They had Ray Parker Jr., Prince, DeBarge, Lilo, Gregory Abbott. You had all types of light-skinned one-hit wonders back in the 80s. If you were light, you get your record deal just for being light. But then when the 90s rolled around, when the black consciousness thing came about in the late 80s, early 90s, that's when women started gearing towards the dark-skinned brothers, the Wesley Snipes and the Johnny Gills, and you know, the Chocolate Brothers came into chic. But I noticed that in the hood, because light-skinned dudes just kind of disappeared, light-skinned dudes just kind of, you know, seemed to have fell off, but in the hood, the light-skinned dudes still had a lot of leeway. Let me see who's on the phone. Hotline.
Hey, what's up, Tariq? I got a question. I got a statement.
Yes, go ahead.
Yo, listen, right? I love what you're doing for the show and everything, but I got a problem with you, baby.
Oh, what's
Stop
up?
Stop showing the game to the bitches. You know what I mean? I met a bitch the other day. That bitch talking about she was a Mac like me. I'm like, bitch, you're fucking crazy. And Tariq, what's up with the bitch said she don't see a show, and now she thinks she a Mac like me. Tariq, stop showing the game to the bitches, baby. Stop doing it, baby.
All right, DMX. I give the game to everybody, man. If you know people respect the game, I'll give it to them. That's why, fellas, you got to stay on top of your game. You know what I'm saying? Because women are gonna soak it up, no matter how much shit women might talk and say, "Oh, damn that Tariq Nasheed." They're listening with open ears. I'm telling you, a lot of women registered for this show. A lot of women are registered for the Mackin' for Money show. A lot of women. So women are going to be up on some game, I'm telling you. When I do lectures and go to speaking engagements, but women are there with their notes and pads, soaking it up. So fellas, your shit has to be crisp like that. You got to be on point like that. But as far as the light-skin, black, dark-skin thing, like I was saying earlier, a lot of dark-skinned women, especially in the hood, and I talked about this in my book, The Art of Mackin', a lot of dark-skinned girls will have those light-skinned niggas they fuck with. Because a lot of dark-skinned girls in the hood, they have, you know, issues with that. You know, they want their children to turn out light. They have that shit. They want their kids to have good hair. I mean, that shit is still prevalent in the minds of a lot of people in our community. That good hair, bad hair shit, man. A lot of sisters are on that. So that is a fact. That's why Tyler Perry, who's a genius, you ever look at his movies or at his plays? Tyler Perry is a genius. His crowd, his demographic, he caters to that, you know, that ghetto black woman crowd. He caters to that ghetto black female crowd. And in his plays and in a lot of his movies, you know, the bad guy is always the dark-skinned brother. And the savior, the good guy, is always the light-skinned dude, like Shamar Moore or Boris Cujo. Them hood rat sisters eat that shit up. They love that. He knows how to cater to their fantasies. The light-skinned Prince Charming that's going to come along and save them and give them mixed babies. That's some real shit. It's kind of, it's sick in its own way, but that's some real shit. Now, as far as the brothers, a lot of brothers do think that light-skinned women are easier to get along with. And I have to say, in my own experiences, that is somewhat true. I will have to say that. Not to say that they're better, because, see, people who know me, and I'm an extremist. I like red bones, and I like real chocolate females. I like my women chocolate and slim. Like Naomi Campbell without the craziness. You know what I'm saying? You know how crazy that motherfucker is? She would be fine if she wasn't so goddamn crazy. She has issues. You dig what I'm saying? Let's see who's on the goddamn phone. Hotline.
What's up, Tariq?
What's going on? Who's calling?
This is Popular from Vista, man.
Hey, what's on your mind, player?
Chilling. I'm listening to that Mackin' for Money right now.
How you liking it?
I just not got into it, but I was like, let me call and see about these light-skinned sisters right quick.
Oh, yeah. So what's your opinion on that?
Man, I like dark-skinned chicks, man. Like a dark-skinned stallion, like Naomi Campbell or something. I prefer them, but it's just the fact we don't really see them.
Yeah, I was just talking about that, man. And that, you brought up a good point, man. Whenever you don't see too many, like, real dark girls that's really in shape. You know what I'm saying? You don't see them with that Naomi Campbell look. When you see a lot of dark sisters, man, a lot of them are, like, extra thick, be on some, chubby shit.
Right. I like the dark-skinned ones, though.
Yeah, I do, too. I like that chocolate thing, but either they fat or they're crazy. Anyway, Thanks for the call, player. Oh, I cut the brother off. And that's another thing, man. That's another good point, man. A lot of the dark sisters, man, be on some extra thick shit. Or they're crazy as cat shit. Seems like the darker they get, the crazier they get. Like New York, on I Love New York, crazy as cat shit. Naomi Campbell be hitting folks with cell phones and shit. And I know I'm being general here. I'm being general for the sake of conversation, and I don't want letters and emails. I'm not saying that all the dark-skinned sisters are fat and crazy. I'm not saying that at all. At all. I'm not saying that. Like Gabrielle Union, she's a dark sister. She's not fat or crazy. I would get with her all day long. I like them slim chocolate sisters. I love them. I love it. But let's be honest, you rarely see a slim chocolate sister. If you see a slim chocolate sister, either she's 15 or she's on crack. But you rarely see that, a slim chocolate sister. And I'm not saying that anybody's better, anybody's worse. There's some crazy, fat-ass, light-skinned girls, too. There's some wolf-face, light-skinned broads. And let me tell you, man, light-skinned ugly is a hard ugly. Because when you see a motherfucker who's light-skinned and ugly, that's a hard ugly. That's some shit you can't even hide. Light-skinned and ugly, you can't hide that shit. That shit stands out. But a lot of people think that light-skinned women are easier to get along with. And that's true in a sense. Hold on. Let me see who's on the phone. Hotline.
What's up, King Flex?
What's going on? What's your name, man?
This is Carol, a.k.a. Mackerel from MySpace.
Okay. So what's on your mind, player?
Well, what's the topic?
Light-skinned women versus dark-skinned women.
Well, I think the light-skinned ladies think they have like a upper hand over the dark-skinned ones.
Why do you think that?
Well, the old complexion thing.
Well,
most men would like to go with a light-skinned chick.
You say most men?
Yeah, I think that's how most men think.
Well, now, what's your nationality?
No, I'm Jamaican, man. I'm black.
Okay, because that might not be the case, because I've been to Europe, man, and a lot of the white dudes, they like dark sisters. They love dark sisters over there, man.
I don't know. I think it's like a nationality thing for real.
Okay.
In the Caribbean, they're
okay. All right, thanks for the call, player. I don't know what that nigga was talking about. That nigga sounded like he was smoking something over there in the Dominican Republic. But as far as that, some light-skinned women may come across as being easier to deal with because I think they have less of a complex. In society, they've always, treated black folks like second-class citizens. The darker you are, the more scrutiny you get, the less opportunities you have. And in the black community, I think a lot of light-skinned women were somewhat valued, and this gives a lot of the darker women a complex. So they have that attitude when you deal with them, when you do give them play, they have such a complex that's been put upon them since childhood. You have to deal with that complex, and that becomes even more off-putting. So it's like a catch-22. And I want all my dark sisters to listen to this, because there ain't nothing wrong with you if you keep your ass in shape and stay on top of your game. But a lot of the chocolate sisters have grown up with those black girl dark skin complexes, thinking that they're not attractive. And then you build up these crazy defense mechanisms, and when men deal with you, they got to deal with those ignorant defense mechanisms that you're putting up, and that becomes off-putting, and that reiterates the self-hate. Because it's there. If you look at some of these message boards, and I've talked about this many times about how dark-skinned girls be hating on light-skinned girls like Beyonce. I mean, some of these girls, Beyonce has made some of these girls insane. If you look at these female message boards, these women seem mentally ill, the way they talk about that woman Beyonce. I mean, it's like deep hatred. It's not even hatred, it's self-hatred that they're projecting onto her. I mean, some of these women, they cater their lives and tailor their lives onto focusing on Beyonce. Go to any black female message board and you'll have 20 threads about Beyonce, just looking for something wrong with this woman. Just because she's light-skinned, that's what it all boils down to. It boils down to the light-skin thing. Nothing more, nothing less. And not to say anybody's better, anybody's worse, but you gotta do you. You got to do you. So who's better? Nobody's better. But as a collective, the dark-skinned sisters seem to have more attitudes. I know a lot of light-skinned girls who were jumped on or beat up in school by dark-skinned girls. All you light-skinned girls out there know what I'm talking about. If you're a light-skinned girl and you went to a black school, there was either some girls trying to whoop your ass or some girls hating on you. Damn near every light-skinned girl that I've ever known, and I've dated a few, all of them have had the same story if they grew up in a black neighborhood. They went to a black school, and this is the thing, a light-skinned broad, if they go to a black school, a lot of times they have to act extra ghetto in order to fit in. And that's a problem too. If they didn't act extra ghetto, they would get, singled out. They would get ostracized by the other darker skinned girls, unfortunately. Now, a lot of light-skinned girls have what's called the tragic mulatto complex. Because I don't want to seem like I'm just badgering the dark girls. I'm not. I'm playing the devil's advocate here. But a lot of light-skinned girls are what we call tragic mulattoes. That's a mixed woman. It's an old term too. A mixed woman who's has a black parent, a white parent. A tragic mulatto is a woman who's not accepted in the white community, and they're not fully accepted in the black community. They're just right there in the middle. They're not accepted by anybody. So a lot of these light-skinned girls have a need for acceptance. A lot of these mixed girls, they have to find some kind of camaraderie with some group or somebody. They're looking for an identity. And that can be off-putting as well when you deal with these women. You deal with these women who don't have their own identity. I know Mariah Carey complained about that a lot. She's one of those tragic mulattoes because, for a while, didn't nobody know what the fuck she was. Is she white? Is she black? Is she Mexican? But a lot of light-skinned girls, they go through shit. And they have crazy issues too. Like Halle Berry, she's fine as hell. And, she used to be jumped on. They jumped on her ass in school. And now Halle Berry's crazy as cat shit. So again, not all light-skinned women have it going on mentally. They have issues too. So you have to look at both sides of the fence. But I want to carry this discussion on. I want everybody to check out my MySpace page, myspace.com/Tariq_Nasheed, and go to the advice blog and post your opinion. Is anyone better than the other one? Who's on the line?
What's going on, King Flex?
What's going on? Who's calling?
It's V from Boston.
Hey, all right, what's on your mind, player?
What's going on, player, man? I mean, I heard the topic of tonight's show, but I mean, to be honest with you, I feel that it's kind of sad, man. That, around the black community, we get this whole which one is the better one? Black females that are dark or lighter skinned females. You feel me?
Yes, I agree.
And I feel that it's a lot of years of conditioning. You know what I'm saying? And it's not seeing the truth behind it all, man.
Yeah.
Not about the us, man. It's about the suck of the female herself, Bill.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, what I'm saying? I think we get that a lot in the Spanish community too, man. I mean, there's a lot of hatred though for darker skinned females, though, even within the Spanish community as well.
Oh yeah, and and you made a good point, man. Thanks for the call, player. And that's another thing, man. In the Spanish community, I know a lot of like Puerto Ricans will kind of look down on dark-skinned blacks or just blacks in general, or go out of their way to kind of differentiate themselves away from that. And what's funny is that I know a lot of Puerto Ricans, and Puerto Ricans look like niggas. You can't really tell the difference. There's really no difference. Puerto Rican is not a race, it's a location. There's no let's get technical with it. There is no Puerto Rican race. It's a location. The culture is only 500 years old, if that. So, and it's mixed with black, Spanish, white. There's all types of different Puerto Ricans. So, there's no particular race. You have black Puerto Ricans, you have dark-skinned Puerto Ricans, you have light-skinned Puerto Ricans, you have damn near white Puerto Ricans. You dig? But a few Puerto Ricans, they try to be on some we're better than black shit, so y'all need to get off that too. Because there's some Puerto Ricans that's jet black. There's some Puerto Ricans that look like Wesley fucking Snipes. I've seen them. But I digress. But I want to talk about that even more. On the UnitedPlayersOfAmerica.com website, I want everybody to log on and let's continue this dialogue about light-skinned, dark-skinned girls, who's better, who's worse. Me personally, I don't think that there is anybody better or worse. I think that there are a lot of more skin complexes in the darker skinned female community. And I think a lot of brothers do go for the women who are easier to deal with. And by and large, a lot of light-skinned women are easier to deal with. A lot of light-skinned women are more comfortable with themselves. In my opinion. In my opinion. Now, this isn't to say that just because somebody's light don't mean that they're flyer. A lot of brothers think that. I've seen a lot of brothers with sea mammals acting like they're dime just because they're light, and that is not the case. I've seen a lot of toe-up light-skinned females, but again, that doesn't make them better, or that doesn't make anybody worse.
Like me, I'm like, bitch, you're fucking crazy. And Tariq, the bitch said she would see a show, and now she thinks she a Mac like me. Tariq, stop showing the game to the bitches, baby. Stop doing it, baby.
All right, DMX. I give the game to everybody, man. If people respect the game, I'll give it to them. That's why, fellas, you got to stay on top of your game. You know what I'm saying? Because women are going to soak it up. No matter how much shit women might talk and say, oh, damn that Tariq Nasheed, they're listening with open ears. I'm telling you, a lot of women registered for this show. A lot of women are registered for the Mackin' for Money show. A lot of women. So women are going to be up on some game, I'm telling you. When I do lectures and go to speaking engagements, but women are there with their notes and pads, soaking it up. So fellas, your shit has to be crisp like that. You got to be on point like that. But as far as the light-skin, black, dark-skin thing, like I was saying earlier, a lot of dark-skinned women, especially in the hood, and I talked about this in my book, The Art of Mackin', a lot of dark-skinned girls will have those light-skinned niggas they fuck with. Because a lot of dark-skinned girls in the hood. Now, as far as females dating light-skinned or dark guys, like back in the 70s and 80s, you know, light-skinned dudes were the in thing. Especially like in the music business, they would give every light-skinned nigga a record deal. You light-skinned, you got your record deal. They had Ray Parker Jr., Prince, DeBarge, Lilo, Gregory Abbott. You had all types of light-skinned one-hit wonders back in the 80s. If you were light, you get your record deal just for being light. But then when the 90s rolled around, when the black consciousness thing came about in the late 80s, early 90s, that's when women started gearing towards the dark-skinned brothers, the Wesley Snipes and the Johnny Gill. Now, as far as the light-skinned, dark-skinned thing in the black community, one of my MySpace partners, he pointed out that a lot of brothers say that light-skinned black women are cooler than dark-skinned black women. A lot of brothers say that light-skinned women are easier to get along with. A lot of brothers say that light-skinned women look better. Now, some of that stuff I agree with, some of that stuff I do not agree with. Hills and, you know, the Chocolate Brothers came into chic. But I noticed that in the hood, because light-skinned dudes just kind of disappeared, light-skinned dudes just kind of, you know, seemed to have fell off, but in the hood, the light-skinned dudes still had a lot of leeway. Let me see who's on the phone. Hotline.
Hey, what's up, Tariq? I got a question. I got a statement.
Yes, go ahead.
Yo, listen, right? I love what you're doing for the show and everything, but I got a problem with you, baby.
Oh, what's
Stop
up?
showing the game to the bitches. You know what I mean? I met a bitch the other day. That bitch talking about she was a man.